I think we're all there then. Good morning, everybody. And this is the fifth debate in the preliminary series of 6. Welcome to Belver and the BIC, both taking part. The motion for today is monarchy as an institution should be abolished. Monarchy as an institution should be abolished. After the toss, Belver will be debating for the motion and the BIC will be debating against the motion. There's an echo on one of the lines. I don't know which one.
I think it might be ours. Is it still there?
Yeah, you sound to be all right. It's just, I think that's it, Gemma. I think so.
Okay.
Right. Schools, just let me introduce you. As you know, Rotarians Felicitas and John are with you. Your controller and timekeeper, your important lady during the debates, Julie, is there on the screen. And your jury for today are Izzy Newman, David Tittle, and Jackie Codd. And the spokesperson for the jury will be Izzy Newman. So again, this debate is monarchy as an institution should be abolished. Over to you, Julie.
Good morning, everybody. Can we have our first speaker? So I believe is James. We're getting a terrible echo. I don't know why. Frank, do you know why we're echoing?
I think the echo comes from BIC. Maybe they have a speaker on, another speaker.
I think it's the projector that is making the sound.
Belver, can you talk a little bit?
Yes, hi. I think it's the projector in the room that is buzzing and it's making the echo.
Okay, can you stop it?
No, because that's what we are viewing you on. Oh, maybe it's the light. Hold on.
I don't think it'll be a light.
It seems to be when we are talking to the school. So it just seems to be the volume in their room.
Yeah.
That's right.
I agree, Izzy. Yeah.
I'll try the volume. Sorry.
So, things better now.
Is that better?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Well done, Gemma.
Okay, sorry about that, James. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, members of the opposing team, and esteemed judges. Today, me and my fellow teammates will show you that we strongly believe that the monarchy as an institution should be abolished. First, allow me to define some key terms. A monarchy is a form of government in which one person is the head of state till death or abdication. An institution is a large and important organization. And to abolish something...
Can I stop you, James? I've stopped the clock. BIC, could you turn your mic off? I see you have now. I think that might help. Okay, James, carry on. I'll resume the clock.
To abolish something is to formally put an end to it. Britain is facing many crises in this day and age. Lack of housing, rising crime, and an underfunded national healthcare service. These are urgent problems that many people in the United Kingdom are all too familiar with. But despite these crises getting worse and worse, the Queen's salary only gets higher and higher. Since 2012, the royal salary has more than doubled from 32.4 million to 67 million. In that same amount of time, child poverty has increased by 50%. How can we allow more and more people not to afford to put food on their families' tables, whilst we increase the amount of millions we pay to one family whose only achievement was being born to the right people?
We have a point of interest.
Oh, accepted.
You need to turn.
Hello, can you hear me? You say that you need to give the money a lot, like you need to give them a lot of money to the royal family, but they provide so much economic help to the country itself that it makes up for the amount of money that they take from taxpayers.
Well, I have never seen, or I don't believe there exists any scientific research that's proven empirically that the existence of a royal family increases the amount of tax income that countries have, or the amount of genuine revenue that countries have. So, take for example the United States, a republic that guarantees civil rights and democracy through a constitution. Their core values are accepted. I accept the point of information.
Just to like further on Lavinia's point, you say that that you can't find any research stating that the existence of the royal family doesn't contribute any income, when in fact that the whole monarchy itself generates loads of income through tourism, and that actually really further stabilizes the economy itself, actually.
Well, three of the largest and most profitable and richest countries in the entire world, Russia, the United States, and China, all are republics. So, it's clearly not an essential having a successful nation. The core values of liberty, equality, and republicanism are at the heart of American values. The United Kingdom, on the other hand, has its citizens rise to a national anthem that doesn't praise freedom and equality, but praises its leader. The British Army swear their loyalty not to a constitution, but to a leader whose only mandate is not the will of the people, but the will of God. How can any institution be modern if it doesn't allow religious freedom? After all, what religiously tolerant society would have the head of state also be the head of a church? Indeed, how can any nation be taken seriously on the world stage if it demands that its citizens recognize their head of state as the closest entity on earth to God? The institution of the monarchy is a remnant of a bygone age, one where some were lavished in luxury, whilst others died on the streets, cold and alone. We must remove these outdated institutions of the past so that we can move forward to a future of liberty and equality. In summary, this House strongly believes that the monarchy as an institution should be abolished. I will leave you with this quote. In times of prosperity, we have a royal mint, but in times of crisis, we have a national debt. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now for BIC, we have Lavinia, I believe.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. I'm Lavinia. This is Leah and this is Connor.
Are you ready? Sorry, are you ready?
Yeah, sorry. We will be arguing that monarchies should be abolished. Monarchy is an invaluable institution that many countries around the world have. They bring money to their nation and serve as an attraction for tourists visiting the country, as well as help the economy and businesses in many different ways. In 2019, the British Royals helped bring £1.8 billion to the UK, with 595 of it being brought in through tourism, merchandise, and arts, while costing 65,000. This makes them 18 times more profitable. So it is disputable to say that monarchies are no good economically, and it makes no sense for them to be abolished. King Felipe of Spain has helped by giving a big chunk of his money to renovate hospitals, schools, and all essentials that are needed in Menorca. His father has also given 50% of his money in charitable foundations in Menorca before he died. This is a clear example of how monarchies are very useful and should not be abolished, as they help our world improve and modernize itself. Monarchies themselves help bring recognition to the country as well as economic aid. If I were to ask you to tell me 5 of the main touristic attractions in Britain. One of them will without a doubt be the Buckingham Palace. This has in fact been carried out as an experiment, and 80% named the Buckingham Palace as the second most visited attraction in the UK after the Big Ben.
Have a point of interest.
Yes?
The abolition of the monarchy wouldn't necessarily bring about the destruction of Buckingham Palace, would it?
No, but the abolition of it would reduce the value of the royal family itself, meaning that people will start forgetting about it, and over time will bring less tourists to the country, meaning that they will get less money through tourism and everything else. Thank you. Furthermore, the rest of the 20% that were asked in this experiment named it as the second or the third most visited, which states and clearly shows that the Buckingham Palace and the royal family is something that stays in everyone's mind, whether they live in England or live abroad. They still know England because of the royal family. This goes for Thailand and Denmark as well, where tourists spend 17.9% of the GDP, which is an astronomical amount of money, through tourism itself. Demolishing any monarchy in any country would jeopardize this and would need so much more help because of this little change. Lastly, they help businesses by promoting a particular way of life that people are interested in. A way in which they did this is through the royal wedding, which I'm sure many of you have watched or know about. The royal wedding brought 80 million viewers to the CBS, giving them a lot more recognition and so much more viewers to the channel itself. Meghan Markle's beautiful Givenchy dress helped the company grow by 43.6%, which is a huge amount of more clients and money that they would be making. This is just the wedding. So any other events that this royal family would have had anywhere around the world would help businesses or companies, fashion brands in general, just because they are wearing it or just because they are at a specific place. My point being that the royal family does not only help themselves gain money through those events, but help business grow and gain recognition. And isn't money something that everyone wants to have nowadays? Overall, the monarchies help bring essential money to the country. Therefore, arguing that monarchies should be removed makes no sense at all, as it would only jeopardize the economic stability of the country. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have Aika, please? Belve, you're on mute at the moment.
Yes, no.
Are you ready?
Yes. This picture over here shows the number of countries that embrace the monarchy, be that absolute or total, at the start of the 20th century. Except for France and Switzerland, all of Eurasia is under the influence of a monarch. Large areas of Africa and North America are also under the influence of their rulers. But if we skip forward a century later, at the start of the 21st century, we can observe that an extraordinary event. Those areas that a century back were under the respective influence of a monarch have now changed to other forms of government. In other words, only in the last century, 26 countries have abolished the monarchy in order to pursue different, better sorts of government. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, esteemed judges, and members of the opposing team. I'm Mikel Batidor, the second speaker of the affirmative team, and we firmly believe that monarchy, as an institution, should be abolished. As the first speaker, James, has said, one of the criticisms against the monarchy is that it is incredibly expensive. It costs far too much for the royal family to live their lifestyle. In the UK, the civil list pays for the running of the
household. This includes the cost of staff, catering, hospitality, executive admin, and ceremonial functions. Any other costs of the monarchy, such as royal trips and the upkeep of royal castles, are met by the government departments through grants in aid from Parliament. The argument here is, why should the average taxpayer be paying out of their hard-earned money for the royals to upkeep their lavish lifestyles? Furthermore, in the British monarchy, even though the Queen is the head of state, she does not exercise any formal power herself, but most prerogative powers are exercised by ministers on behalf of the Crown, who are not accountable for the Parliament or for the executive decisions they make. These powers include sending troops abroad and signing treaties without consulting the Parliament beforehand. An example of this is when John Major sent troops to take part in the First Gulf War. The Queen is powerless and pointless, and all her powers are invested in the Prime Minister. However, officials hide the real nature of this truth by saying that the Queen acts on advice of the Prime Minister, meaning she does what she is told. Politically, the monarch self-accepted.
You were talking about how the Queen, the civil list stands at 10.8 million, but this is just for England. There are many more examples like Spain, Saudi Arabia, and Thailand. For example, Spain, in which they gain 6 million, but bring in 46 million to the country. So these 6 million are then made up for with the money that they bring in.
I didn't understand. Can you repeat the point again, please?
Yes, you're talking about how in the UK, the civils list allows the UK to gain 10.8 million a year for their own spending. Yes. But in other countries such as Spain, Thailand, Saudi, so many countries have so much less money that they get. Like in Spain, they get 6 million, but give to the country 46, which makes up for the 6 million that they take from taxpayers. So I think that the point is quite weak.
Well, King Salman bin Al-Zurarid from Saudi Arabia has 16.6 billion. Sultan Hassan Bokran of Brunei has 20.6 billion. King Samara from Thailand has 60.6 billion. All of this is owned by the monarch, whilst people, especially in Thailand and poorer countries such as Saudi Arabia, are starving on the streets. Politically, the monarch serves little purpose. There are some powers which he can and has used on occasions where there is a hung in Parliament. But overall, his functions are mainly formal and could be easily taken over by other political bodies. For example, the Queen may have the power to sign off all legislation before it becomes any law, but she does not have the power to pass any laws. She's obliged to say yes to any law brought to her by the Prime Minister, as the Parliament who have proposed it have been elected, whereas she has not. This system of inherited authority reduces the democratic system in the UK to a secondary tier of authority. This may be symbolic, but it reinforces the belief in this country that voting won't change anything. As John Adams, one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, said, when annual elections end, slavery begins. Thank you.
Thank you. Your time's up. Okay, can we have Leah, please? Or Lee? Beg your pardon.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Are you ready? Sorry,
Yeah,
are you ready?
yeah.
Okay.
The monarchy as an institution originated in 3000 BC and is an institution that should be preserved and treasured. A constitutional monarchy provides unity and stability. The king or the queen is a figure who ensures governments act in the best interest of the nation. And additionally, a royal family contributes greatly to a nation's economy. The monarchy is a source of pride for many nations. While there has been a history of political unrest in Thailand, for example, the monarchy has remained a stabilizing force. King Bhumibol was loved throughout the country, with his 70 years of reign only exceeded by the United Kingdom's Queen Elizabeth II. He served as a living symbol of unity, for the entire nation, and even with this case, the nation's further unity in the year-long mourning for a man who many saw as the father of the nation. While he had limited power within the government, Bombio on several occasions played a circular role in mediation that either resolved or helped to avoid political crisis and violence in the nation. Such acts demonstrate the necessity of an overseeing power separate from the government, and in some cases can save lives. Likewise, political scientist Victor Menold found that monarchies in the Middle East offered much more stability than other forms of government. They are more likely to survive in office and keep...
We have a point of interest.
Yes.
You mentioned monarchies in the Middle East. However, Saudi Arabian monarchies committing torture and murdering people without a trial. I don't understand how you can support this.
Yeah, that's a good point. However, I'm more focusing on how they try to stabilize the government. And yeah, sorry. Furthermore, monarchies are statistically a lot cheaper than a presidential. When focused on Denmark, the monarchy totaled at £9.1 million. While many argue that royal families are paid for by the taxpayers, having a monarchy actually has benefits for a nation's economy. The British royal family contributes £1.155 billion into the economy, and having a royal seal or link to royalty actually affects buyers' perception of particular brands and therefore encourages spendings. If you look at Denmark, a 2014 survey showed that 82% of Danes were against the idea of abolishing the monarchy, that 82% found that benefits Denmark to have one. Queen Margaret has, among other things, been good at representing Denmark abroad and participating in business trips and exhibitions, openings, and connection with export campaigns for Danish businesses, thus acting as a door opener for Danish commercial interests abroad, again demonstrating the benefits of a monarchy in the nation's economy. In conclusion, a monarchy stabilizes and provides unity for a nation and its economy. Isn't this a thing that every country wants? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we have David for Belvedere, please. Are you ready, David?
Yeah, I'm ready. A monarchy is a form of government in which the monarch, part of a hereditary dynasty, is head of state for life or until abdication. Head of state, hereditarily, for life or until abdication. As Anthony Sampson said, once you touch the trappings of a monarchy like an Egyptian tomb, the inside is liable to crumble. Ladies, gentlemen, esteemed judges and members of the opposing team. My name is David Dominguez and I am the third speaker of the affirmative team. We believe that monarchy as an institution should be abolished. We believe in democracy. We advocate for freedom. The concept of a monarchy is dictatorial, coercive, and undemocratic. If the monarch retains any significant political powers, as they do in Spain, as they do in Belgium, and as they do in the United Kingdom, for example, they are absolutely unjustifiable. Legally, in the United Kingdom, the Queen has the power to choose the Prime Minister, dismiss ministers and even governments, pardon convicted criminals, declare a state of emergency, and raise a personal militia. My question is, why should the opinion of only one person, ladies and gentlemen, in office purely by accident of birth, be able to influence the outcome of elections or to call a government? There is absolutely no logical explanation, because that is the nature of a monarchy: opposition to reason and opposition to logic. For centuries, the main justification of a royal authority was a religious one. Yet monarchs cannot have the divine right to rule. Today, societies are increasingly multi-faith, with fewer than 5% adults in the United Kingdom being practicing Anglicans. Yet the Queen claims to be the defender of Protestant faith. The opposing team claims that the monarchy represents everyone. Yet the syllogism is abnormally simple. It is an elitist institution that only represents the mentioned 5%. it ignores the remaining 95%. In fact, out of 20 people, it ignores 19 of them. Fortunately, monarchy is outdated and autocratic nature.
A point of order.
Yeah, accepted.
You said in the beginning of your speech that why should the opinion of one person matter? But your friend, your student, said before that the monarchies themselves work alongside with the government. So they don't actually have a say. They can overrule some things, but they don't have the whole power of the country. They're mainly just there.
Well, let me clarify what my team was saying. They were saying that the Queen, although, as I said, it has the power to choose the Prime Minister, dismiss ministers and even governments, refuse Parliament, refuse to agree certain legislation passed by Parliament, and pardon convicted criminals, is still under the authority of a Prime Minister. It has absolutely no power. Therefore, what's the point of having a monarch? As I was saying, fortunately, monarchy's outdated and autocratic nature is being exposed to the world, with popular will being the ultimate indisputable proof. Monarchies are in decline. France's monarchy ended with the French Revolution, the Kingdom of Portugal ended in 1910, Tsar Nicholas the Bloody abdicated in 1917, the racist Ottoman Empire ended in 1912, Italy's fascist sympathizing monarchy ended in 1946, and the last king of Nepal resigned in 2008. Furthermore, 60% of Swedes think that King Carl Gustaf should abdicate, and only 40% of Spaniards support the monarchy. To summarize, monarchies are unpopular. It is a fact. Therefore, should we democratically accept the will of the people and abolish this unjustifiable institution? Or should we, as the opposing team claims, continue to behave dictatorially? Ladies and gentlemen, monarchy is an anachronism in a democratic society. We advocate for liberty. We advocate for democracy. We support the people. Monarchy as an institution should be abolished. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, can we have Connor for BIC?
Hello, can you hear me all okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, good morning, judges and fellow debaters. Today, my speech today will help support against the motion. And I will be talking about how monarchies are more stable and trustworthy, as well as able to make crucial decisions a lot more efficiently. Countries with monarchies are less corrupt and a lot more trusting. Politicians have always been seen as untrustworthy and making a promise to better society than going back on them afterwards. Polls show that now more than ever, politicians are not considered to be trustworthy. Considering the recent election disputes between America, politicians can make huge allegations, all for wanting power and to rule over a nation. Edward Morgan-Jones suggests that governments with constitutional monarchies are more likely to consult their people with early elections. This is extremely important for the people of the country because it will establish a good connection, build trust between the monarchy and the people, forming a more committed nation. Andreas Berg and Christian van Oostrom found that social trust is substantially higher in monarchies, which is associated with lower crime, lower corruption rates, which can provide a safer environment for the people, and a better and more stable economy, which can strengthen the backbone of the country as well as improve the country's future. Lastly, Transparency International's corruption countries for the transparency of absent corruption. Lastly, Transparency International Corruption Perceptions Index shows that the top 10 countries for transparency and absent of corruption, 7 of them have a king or a queen as head of state. These are Denmark, New Zealand, Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Canada, which shows the importance of having a monarchy because it can provide a safer environment for the people while maintaining a working and supporting government. A common misconception that people make is that the monarchy controls all the decisions of their country, but in a constitutional monarchy, the final decision is made by an elected official who leads a parliament. So the main reason that monarchies are still very much relevant, and in my opinion, completely more efficient than presidencies, is that monarchies are a lot more trustworthy and are more open to the public. This can create a far better...
Have a point of interest?
Yes, accept.
You claim monarchies to be trustworthy. However, how do you justify the theft of the Spanish monarch of 60 million euros from honest taxpayers?
Yeah, but the Spanish monarchy contributes loads of income towards the country and makes the environment for the people a lot safer. And a counter question is that how can you say that politicians and presidencies are trustworthy when loads of politicians lie throughout the elections and make tons of allegations which they go back on afterwards? Sorry, as I was saying, this will create a far better political environment for the nation, which will therefore create a way better and healthier appearance for the nation. This can open many doors and have positive impacts, which can further a country's impact in the modernized world. Thank you. Oh, yeah, accept.
What about the monarchies in the Middle East, which have little human rights appreciation?
I'm not going to answer that question.
We can't hear you. Okay, thank you. So now the teams will have 2 minutes to summarise their arguments, and then each team will have 2 minutes to put that arguments to the judges, starting now. Okay, thank you, teams. Can we have the speaker from BIC, please?
First, we'd like to say thank you for having us, and we hope you enjoyed this debate. In conclusion, all the arguments against the abolishment of monarchies are valid, and it makes clear sense for countries to keep their monarchy. The reasons are as mentioned before. The monarchy helps bring a huge amount of money and is a major help to the economy. It symbolizes unity, history, and traditional values to a country. And taking it away will demolish everything that Britain, Spain, Thailand, or any other country stand for. Furthermore, it establishes a connection with the people while maintaining a working environment. Not only does it help government rules to be put in place more efficiently, but it reduces political divide. The opponent team before mentioned that monarchies bring crime and torture to people, but this happens in countries where governments are also in power, such as America, where slavery was one of the biggest crimes that they have committed. As well as this, the opposing team also said that it reduces the freedom of speech, as you can't really talk badly about the queen or the king. But in countries, communist countries especially, such as Russia and China, you're not allowed to say anything bad about the leader, otherwise you get executed or imprisoned. So it shows that whether your country has governments or monarchies that rule over you, you will never really have this freedom of speech, and crime will still be there. It doesn't matter if it's a monarchy or not. The people in favor of the abolishment will say that monarchs take money from taxpayers to live their luxurious life. But the monarch brings 18 times more money to the country, and therefore, arguing that monarchies are bad only because they demand so much financial aid is weak, as they bring a lot more money than they use. Abolishing the monarchy will be no easy task, and it might take years to make this change. But why waste time doing this?
Thank you, Speaker. Your time is up.
Sorry.
And now, Belvera, do you have your speaker? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me expose the opposing team autocratic and totalitarian arguments backed up with absolutely no empirical evidence nor any sources, with arguments in favor of democracy. The first speaker of the opposing team mentioned how monarchy helps tourism. However, the pomp and pageantry of royalty project Britain as the theme park of beefeaters, castles.
We lost your feed. I think we've lost the feed from Belver.
It seems to be frozen, yes.
Belver, can you hear us?
I think the only thing they can do is to go out and come in again. Kate, maybe you give a message to somebody there?
I think they've gone. Yeah. I have stopped the clock.
Ah, he's back.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll restart your clock.
Should I start again?
No, you don't need to. I've stopped the clock. You can carry on.
Where was I?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, as I was saying, when I asked the second speaker, when I asked about torture and human rights violations in Middle Eastern monarchies, she completely ignored it. And she said she focused on the economy. Money over life. By the contradiction in the opposing team. The third speaker, he said that monarchies are less corrupt. Nevertheless, turbulent negotiation between the Spanish and Saudi Arabian monarchy ended up in the theft of 60 million euros from honest taxpayer. Ladies and gentlemen, to support modern democratic values, the dictatorial institution of monarchy should be abolished. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now I hand over to the judges.
Hello. I see we've got both the schools there. Is Julie around? I think people are coming in from the... Is all the jury there, please? I see both schools. Are the jury there? I'm not getting any sound. Izzy, can you hear me?
I can indeed.
Very good. Is Jackie there somewhere? And David?
Yes, I'm here.
You're there, perfect. And I think Jackie is as well. Right, and there's Julie. Well, the jury have had another difficult choice, I know. Quite a bit of debate in the jury room, but that's not for me to say. May I hand you first of all to Jackie, one of the members of the jury, just to say a couple of words.
Good morning. You've done a wonderful job this morning, both schools. Thank you very much for a very interesting debate, and may the best school win.
Thank you, Jackie. David, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, congratulations to all 6 of you on a very, very interesting and thought-provoking debate covering a huge spectrum of the topic. You all acquitted yourselves extremely well. It was very enjoyable, and it was a very, very difficult decision for us to come up with the winner. But thank you all very much for participation. Izzy.
Yes, good morning to you, Belver and BIC. Thank you for your efforts and hard work and your presentations and debates this morning. thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought being a mum was a tough job, but I have been proved you're wrong. Being a judge in this is one of the toughest jobs I've ever done. I tell you, I compliment you so much. Your pace and delivery through the whole competition is improving and improving, and clarity is obviously key in this. And all of you have, from the start, have improved enormously. I'd very much like to compliment Lavinia on her involvement with the POIs this week, and the fact you are listening so well to the information that's being given is the credit to you. Absolutely excellent. However, there is someone that shone for us this week. It was a very close call, only by a point, I may add. And so I'd like to congratulate David from Belver for being the best debater in this week's debates.
Felicitas, are you there?
Yeah, I am. I hope so.
Thank you.
Good.
Not the best. Okay, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. And moving on to the best school, again, excellent information. We were discussing in quite a lot of detail about the team that won, pointing out the facts that BIC had come up with, and the regarding the sort of the economic side of things was very well sought out and looked into and researched. However, the passion and the delivery and the teamwork, I felt, or we all felt, overall, I say we all, it was a close call. We would very much like to congratulate Belver for their diversity of their information and their delivery overall in the debate this week. So congratulations, the best team this week are Belver.
Thank you, Izzy. Thank you very much. Congratulations to Belver and to David.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great.
Wait.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you. There you are.
Thank you so much. And to be called an esteemed judge is also a very nice start to the day.
Is Marlon there and Felicitas for a photograph with the winners, please? Belver?
Thank you.
Marlon, can you organise a photograph, please?
Yeah.
With yourself and Felicitas? Thank you.
There you go. I'll do one first and Felicitas with the team.
There you are, Felicitas, looking beautiful in your masks. Thank you very much. And congratulations to Belver.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll see each other. Some of us will see each other again next week on the 2nd, when the final of the 6 preliminary debates will be between Agora and the French Lycée. Another exciting debate. Thank you and good morning.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.